and are perhaps best known for their infamous sloping pitch. But this season, the Yelts, as they're called, have disturbed the local people with their Wembley Cup run. Queues like this have never been seen before in Halesowen, and crowds of over 1,000 have been packing in to watch them play. Wembley tickets are being snapped up, and the Halesowen fans are certainly planning to hit London in style. Leading them up Wembley Way will be Harry Rudge. He's been with them for nearly 50 years as player, manager and now secretary.
It's going to be a day out for nearly the whole of Halesowen, I think, the way the ticket sales are going at the moment. I think it'll be very sleepy in the Halesowen Town Centre on the afternoon of April the 30th.
Halesowen will start as favourites for the final, having already beaten VS Rugby 3 times this season. All the players have plenty of local league experience. Twins Paul Joinson and Lee Joinson are the main goal scorers, and there's also Don Smith, who scored at Wembley for Willenhall in the Vase final 2 years ago. Manager Paddy Page is quietly confident, but perhaps the mood of the team is best summed up by captain Stuart Edmonds.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, you can't really describe it. I think as any footballer that plays at any level when I play there. I mean, there are professional players that haven't played there. And for all the lads that are involved now, I think it's a tremendous honour. I mean, you can't. I mean, to play. I don't think anybody really believes they're going to play there yet. When it happens, then I'll believe it.
Once a year, Wembley Stadium takes pride in opening its gates to the little clubs, and Halesowen Town and VS Rugby from the West Midlands League made the most of their biggest ever day. The coaches rolled in for what really was a family outing, and the supporters made the most of it. The Vase final may not attract cup final crowds, but the folk from Halesowen and Rugby dressed up in style for the grand occasion, and there were plenty of pictures for the album. The final would have passed this young supporter by, and judging by their pre-match celebrations, a few of these chaps might not remember it too well either. The great thing about the Vase final is that it's a carbon copy of the cup final, with the 2 sides walking out to a real Wembley roar. A crowd of 13,700 watched a game which at first was dominated by Halesowen in the white shirts. A cross from Edmonds brought the first real attack, with Paul Joinson cleverly crossing for Shivlock to head over. Halesowen pulled Rugby apart again a few minutes later when Woodhouse went through and goalkeeper Colin Burton was forced to come way off his line to clear. The pressure on Rugby kept piling up, and it was Joinson again who made an opening for a shot from Woodhouse. As underdogs, Rugby were playing their part well, and only occasionally did they manage to cause problems for the Halesowen defence. The finishing touches, though, were missing, and it was Halesowen who always looked more capable of scoring. Their skipper, Stuart Edmonds, was inches away with a 20-yarder. Reshuffle to the town team and the appearance of substitute Don Smith, but within 3 minutes Rugby had struck the vital blow. A break by Ingram paved the way. Evans pumped the clearance back in, and Owen got it through for Ian Crawley to push the ball home. The Rugby fans went wild, and as the minutes ticked by, victory came closer. Halesowen didn't give in without a fight, though. Smith and Lacey were desperately close to a last-minute equaliser, but at the whistle, it was Rugby's cup. The underdogs had done it. And the players strode up the famous steps to collect their prize. But it was the losing captain, Stuart Edmonds, who perhaps best summed it all up.
A day to remember for anybody to play here. I mean, whether they're playing tiddlywinks, I mean, it just oozes character. It's fantastic. I shall remember this as long as I live.
While Halesowen cursed their luck, Rugby treated Wembley with their own musical celebrations. It's hard to believe the Midlands' most successful cup sign in recent years lives here on a recreation ground in Halesowen. The sloping pitch and ancient clubhouse may not look much, but this weekend, these part-timers will be the envy of many a professional when they walk out at Wembley. For most, it'll be their second final in 3 years. And incredibly for one man, Don Smith, his third in 4 years. The FA Vase, the tiny team's cup final, only pulls a crowd of around 20,000. But that doesn't stop the Wembley fever, nor the rush for tickets. Halesowen have sold out once, and tomorrow around 8,000 locals will be heading to London for the big day out. And there'll be no prouder man than Secretary Harry Rudge. 40 years he's been with them, and to many, he is Halesowen Town.
Well, I think it's got to be the pinnacle of achievement, hasn't it, for a non-league club to get there twice in 3 seasons, beyond our wildest dreams. And we only hope this time that we can do better than last time and come back with the trophy.
Halesowen started as favourites in the '83 final as well, but it wasn't their day. They were on top for much of the match, but it was VS Rugby who got the only goal of the game and lifted the vase. 10 of that squad are going back tomorrow, and once again they've been enjoying the publicity and popularity that goes with a Wembley appearance. But this time, Halesowen are determined to come back with the winners' medals.
We've seen it all before. We've got the experience of the occasion. It's going to be a difficult game, they always are, but we've got the confidence. I think we can do it.
What's it mean to the players, though, to be going to Wembley again?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic to go once, but to go a second time is unbelievable. I think nobody can really believe it.
Apart from full-back Ian Sherwood, who had a couple of seasons with Leicester City, the Halesowen boys are all local leaguers. And the danger men? Well, the Joinson brothers have confused most defences. Paul and his twin Lee already have 50 goals between them this season. The Halesowen supporters will take some beating as well. You'll not find more devoted fans than these. Even the old rattle has come out for Wembley, so let's just hope they have something to celebrate.
They might have been to Wembley before, but it's all part of the day, treading the turf, waving to the fans and spotting relatives in the stands. And before the match itself got underway, smaller in number though Fleetwood supporters might have been, vocally, they were giving it their all. And for the teams, there was a word from Bobby Charlton. It didn't take Halesowen long to adjust to the atmosphere or the pitch, and when you consider it's worlds away from what they're used to, it was all the more laudable. So too the early goal. 9 minutes on the clock, Richard Heath produced the sort of pass that would split any defence, and Jeff Moss did the rest. Paul Joinson won't thank anybody for reminding him of his miss 7 minutes later. Wembley nerves, perhaps. Had it gone in, though, that would well have been the end of the game as a contest. Fleetwood may have had a few replays along their way to Wembley, but because they were never allowed to settle, it was nearly half-time before they mounted anything like a challenge on goal. The killer blow came 4 minutes into the second half. Martin Hazelwood's was the through ball, Paul Joinson's the flick, twin brother Lee did the rest. Fleetwood faded, but Paul Caldicott had to be at his very best to stop Laurie Milligan from pulling a goal back. But all Lancastrian hope was gone in 78 minutes when, for the second time, Lee Joinson's skill got the better of the Fleetwood defence. And just when the final whistle was due, Fleetwood's captain Norman Moran produced a splendid volley to give Fleetwood some respectability. But that was all. The cup was Halesowen's. Halesowen had made up for the disappointment of defeat by VS Rugby 2 years ago for their fans' utter delight. For John Woodhouse, moments to savour.
And the sport has been fantastic again. It's really great.
And as they trailed away back to the dressing room and the champagne, a reminder that they'd been there and they'd done it. The FA Vase is one of the big prizes in non-league soccer, giving small, semi-professional clubs like Halesowen the chance of Wembley glory. The famous Twin Towers are pretty familiar to the Halesowen faithful. They were beaten finalists in 1983 and they won the Vase last season. There were 3,000 Black Country fans packed into their windswept Grove Stadium on Saturday, only a few hundred short of the attendance up the road at Molyneux for the Wolves-Bristol City League match. The hard work this year, it seemed, had been done. Halesowen had drawn 1-1 in the first leg at Warrington. They got the perfect start on Saturday. Lee Joynson met Mark Penn's through ball, and that was his 23rd goal of the season. But 8 minutes later and Warrington were back in it. Leading scorer Steve Hughes saw his first shot parried by Caldicott, but he scored at the second attempt. When striker John Woodhouse was upended early in the second half, Halesowen had the chance to go into the lead. But Ian Sherwood's penalty was too close to the Warrington goalkeeper. Lee Joynson made amends in the 69th minute, capitalising on a mix-up in the visiting defence for his second goal of the match. It took Warrington only 3 minutes to draw level again, Ian Kinsey displaying fine close skills to score from the edge of the box. So 2-2 at the end of normal time, the sides facing another half an hour in by now gale force conditions. But again Halesowen got the start they needed 90 seconds into extra time, and Paul Joynson shot in at the top corner. That was his 40th goal of the season. But it still wasn't enough. Warrington came back with probably the best move of the match, which was finished off by a low drive from Steve Hughes. And that was how it finished, 3-3 after extra time.
After a disappointing performance on Saturday, the Halesowen faithful were hoping their side could raise their game and book their place in the final for the second year running. Once again, Halesowen in blue and white got the start they needed. 8 minutes gone and Lee Joynson's corner finds Mark Lacey at the far post. But within 3 minutes, Warrington were level. Another corner, Caldicott misses it and Peter Henderson scores with a first-time shot. Both sides were struggling to find their rhythm in the first half, but Halesowen were 2-1 ahead at the break thanks to this goal. Lacey gets in 2 headers and Jeff Moss scrambles the ball over the line. The second half and Warrington equalise again. Ian Kinsey scores off the underside of the bar. But Halesowen are beginning to get the edge and they go 3-2 ahead as Woodhouse's pass finds Paul Joynson in a crowded penalty area. Midway through the second half and it's 4-2. A hint of offside as Paul Joynson goes clear on the wing and his cross gives twin brother Lee the easiest of chances. And the goals kept coming a minute later and Warrington are back in it. Kinsey finds the net after another lapse in the Halesowen defence. 74 minutes gone and the Joynson twins show almost telepathic understanding to outfox the Warrington defence, with Lee Joynson adding the finishing touch for his second goal of the game. 5-3 to Halesowen. 10 minutes left and Warrington win a penalty, but Gordon Hunter fires the spot kick high and wide and the Northerner spirit is finally broken. A couple of minutes later, substitute Don Smith knocked in Halesowen's 6th of the night, and that was that. A final score of 6-3. Celebrations in the dressing room with the Halesowen players giving the traditional rendition. For them, a second successive Wembley final, where they'll defend the FA Vase against London side Southall. No doubt the streets of Halesowen will be deserted on April the 26th, as 10,000 Black Country fans make the now familiar trip down Wembley Way.
Let's go to win the FA Vase. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved.
10,000 fans made the journey, many of them supporters of Albion, Villa and Blues. But on Saturday they were all Halesowen fans. For the players it was a heart-pounding occasion, stepping onto the slightly soggy but still hallowed Wembley turf. Many of them, like manager Paddy Page, had been here before, this their 3rd visit in 4 years.
The game itself began slowly, with mistakes aplenty on the greasy surface. This one by Randall let in Les Ferdinand for a shot just a little too close for comfort. Then Halesowen's terrible twins took centre stage. After 18 minutes, Paul Joinson should have scored. Brother Lee then joined the assault, turning two defenders with some slick footwork. In the 35th minute, the breakthrough. A free kick headed on by Lacey, a lob by Paul Joinson, and Jeff Moss plants a careful header. A fair reward for Halesowen's enterprise, and a just scoreline to end the half. The second period saw a different Southall, altogether more flowing and adventurous. 3 minutes gone and they thought they'd equalised. But the offside decision was made early and clearly. With Southall opening up, there was space to exploit. The Joinson twins relished it, and Lee will still be wondering how he missed this one. On 68 minutes, a turning point. A header from Ferdinand and a save of quality from Pemberton. 6 minutes later, Lee Joinson's shot cannons off the near post and trickles in via a defender. 2-0 and the celebrations have already begun. 3 minutes later, more drama when Heath's shot crashes off the bar. Following up, Jeff Moss grabs his second. Over the line or not, by now it really didn't matter. Moments later, it was all over, and the emotions took over. For the second year running, Halesowen were in the royal box to receive the FA Vase. Many congratulations.
Thank you.
You must be getting used to this.
Well, I don't think you'll ever get used to something like that. It's fantastic.
Tougher game than it looked on paper.
It was a very hard game. It was a very hot day, and I think everybody felt the atmosphere, and it really tiring out there. But we did it in the end.
What's the latest? Scored 2 goals at Wembley.
Right, smashing. Lovely.
What about that second goal he got?
Just got a touch through, it just went over.
Was it over?
Not when I kicked it now.
I think the turning point was the save by Alan Pemberton in about quarter of an hour in the second half.
Which was just after that offside goal.
Marvellous save, yes.
What about the final goal there? There was some dispute over that.
Well, they disputed it, we didn't. I thought it was in, so it was a goal, so that's it.
Any plans for tonight?
Probably get drunk, but they've done it for all these people up here. Marvellous.
The generosity of both fans and players made a refreshing sight. Southall's fans applauding their conquerors, while Halesowen's consoled the losing captain. But then the whole day was a shining example of how the game, both on and off the pitch, was meant to be played.